Hey everyone, this is Triple Play Fantasy, the football show, and we're going to be talking to you about a rookie mock draft review. Hey everyone, this is Zach at FF Chupa Batman. I'm your host. I am joined today by the wonderful Brad at Sir Brad League, Joe Pepe, hashtag celebrity, as well as the Doc at Triple Fantasy. How's everyone doing today?
Good man.
I'm good. All I know is that I'm looking at myself right now and I need a haircut, like bad. Like,
That's where I just went this morning, Joe. To make me feel better.
this
Joe,
thing
you're
is making
close
me
enough to
this,
start a
this
new
is
trend.
making me
Don't worry
look
about it.
bad. This is making me look bad. I might just like sit here with my hands in front of my face.
Nah, you're starting to look like you're from Goodfellas.
Are you Italian?
Oh, full-blooded.
Yeah, okay.
So he,
Yeah,
he literally
full-blooded. I'm
bleeds
sure.
marinara.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm almost certain that like somebody in my family is part of like the quote unquote garbage disposal industry. So
We might need you to fix a couple games for us this year.
listen, man, I will. I'm not allowed to talk to Calvin Ridley anymore because he's on my dynasty team now, so I can't have that.
Absolutely. Speaking of dynasties, we have a a mock draft. We're going to review it for you guys. So this is a rookie mock draft. We did this a week ago. We had a lot of great people from the fantasy football industry in the mock. So I just want to go through who was in there for you all. So we had Bob Harris of Football Die Hard. We have Kevin Coleman, part of Football Guys. John Bauer. He is part of, I don't remember his team now, but he's at the Bauer Club. Sorry, John Bauer.
Dynasty Theory.
Dynasty, perfect. Yes, thank you. We got Alfredo Brown, who's also with Football Guys now. We got Gator J, Jason. He's with a few different teams, including mine with Fantasy and Frames. We got Julia Papworth. She is with the Fantasy Footballers. And then Jack Caparucio, and I believe he's with Sleeper now. So a lot of great people from the industry, and then all of us were in the mock as well. So we are not going to go through the mock pick by pick. No offense to anybody out there that does that. I appreciate it, but that's not going to help any of you in your leagues because it's not your league. So it's more talking about some strategy, maybe some tendencies we've noticed, maybe some things you guys should consider trading, who to look for in your mock draft. So this was a 12-team Superflex PPR, and it was a 2-point tight end premium. Those were the settings we went into it. So I'm not going to go through every single pick of who picked, all that kind of stuff, but I'm just going to read off the first round real quick just so everyone kind of knows who we're talking about. So just in order from the first pick, it was Bijan Robinson, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnston, Will Levis, Dalton Kincaid, and Devon Achane. So pretty standard first round. So I wanted to kind of kick it off real quick to Eric. Which pick did you think was the best value in that first round, which was pretty standard for most mocks?
I'm not even going to say mine by taking Bryce Young at the 103. I think it's got to be Dalton Kincaid at the 111. So he's going to go to a great offense in Buffalo, a team that selected him in the first round, 25th overall. And if you've been reading reports this offseason, they said they want to decrease Josh Allen's rushing attempts and kind of transform his game and mostly be a pocket passer. When you realize he's had 122 and 124 rushes the last couple seasons, probably those pass attempts go up. And this is a team that's going all in. Brandon Beane has said that too. I think Dawson Knox is a great red zone tight end, but they're lacking that clear number 2 option behind Diggs. I think Gabe Davis is really boom bust, but I think Dalton Kincaid is going to slide into hopefully an every down role in a very good offense. And I forgot who got him at the 111, but I think that's great value.
Absolutely. I believe it was Julia. And actually, it might have been Jack. Somebody got him. But yeah, it was good value. So, Brad, I had mentioned Bijan Robinson was the 101. he feels like he is pretty much locked in as a 101. Should he be the 101, or is there someone else that you should consider if you have the first pick?
I think he should be the 101 because I love that, pretty much in every draft for 101, you should probably take a running back considering the scarcity value of the position. That's just my personal bias. But I'd say on the occasion that, you're in a dynasty league, you got your rookie draft going up and your weakest position is quarterback, I don't think it's crazy to take Anthony Richardson or Bryce Young at that 101 spot because they're going to be holding the keys to their organization for a long time. They're going to have weapons, and both of them have some rushing upside as well. So I could see a world where we're looking at the future, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson type issue, and going back, you look at your draft and say, man, I wish I had taken Anthony Richardson because I can see a world where Tyler Algier isn't getting. He's not fully relegated to that number 2 backup role, and he's splitting time with Bijan, and they're splitting Bijan out wide, and they don't really have a quarterback. So, I could see a world in where Bijan kind of is a little bit of a dud.
Can I just ask, where would you take him in redraft? Because I see some people saying he's the 101 in redraft, and I just can't get behind that at all.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Mid to end first for me.
Yeah, end of first.
Okay. End of first was what I was thinking, like maybe 8th, 9th pick in a 12-team league earliest.
I could probably take like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 running backs that I prefer to have over Bijan.
All right, I'm glad to know we're all sane.
Yeah, I'm around that. Like, you give me the 8th, 9th pick of my redraft, I'm quite okay with Bijan there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, the one scenario I wanted to bring up, that's why I asked Brad, is if you are the 101, in theory, you're the worst team in your dynasty league, unless that pick got traded around. I would say Bijan's the safe pick. That's probably the one that everybody is going to say to pick. But Anthony Richardson, huge potential ceiling, a lot of risk because he could also be a dud. But quarterbacks will carry value way longer, especially in a super flex league in dynasty, than a running back. So if you're not going to contend for the next couple of years anyway, because your team's that bad, which it happens, you're rebuilding now, then you may want to consider a quarterback like an Anthony Richardson, where he's going to have sustained value if he hits. I mean, at this point, if any of your players, you have to believe that they're going to hit if you're going to draft him. So if he hits, he will carry value for longer than Bijan in theory.
Yeah.
All right. So, Joe, if you have an early pick, but maybe you want to trade back because you just want to collect some more assets, you don't really feel like there's a differentiation in value up there, what is the furthest pick in the first round that you would be willing to trade back to?
I'm probably not going past the 9th pick because in that 7, 8, 9 range, you have that Jordan Addison, that Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, whichever way you want to put them into the draft. But after that, it kind of falls off for me. Like, I'm not trying to move back to get Will Levis. Like, I'm just looking at our draft. As much as I like the Dalton Kincaid setup lineup where he is in Buffalo, all that fun stuff, it's still a tight end. It's not a great position for me. Not like I picked Devin A-Chain at 12, and I'm still not excited about that. So once I hit that 7, 8, 9 range, I'm good. Otherwise, like, put me in the 2024. I'll skip this pick. I'll get some assets otherwise. But if I'm not in that first 9, I really don't want to be in the first round.
So if you're up in the early part of the draft, but maybe you don't really need a quarterback. So Bijan's gone, maybe Anthony Richardson's gone. You're like the 3rd, 4th pick. You don't need one of those quarterbacks, but you are trying to trade with someone that does need a quarterback. You're looking, like you said, you're trying to go no further back than the 8, 9 pick because you feel like all those wide receivers are pretty interchangeable, I would assume.
Yeah. But, I mean, for me personally, if there's a quarterback, I'm staying. Like, it's super flex. Just give me the assets at a very valuable position. But if you want to move back, I'm not going past 8 or 9. That way, I get one of the receivers that I feel like are all going to be wide receiver 2s for a team, like, throughout their career. So I'm not excited for anybody past that. I know what I got there. No further than 9.
And to Joe's point, too, I'm looking at how our draft went, and I think after the first 9, there's a drop-off of people that are immediate impact players that, will need an injury or will have limited snaps. So I totally agree with what he's saying.
Perfect. So I'm going to read off the second round real quick before we go to the next one. So to start off the second round, it was Rashee Rice, And that was a mock. Was it a? Well, I'm blanking on my words right now. The computer picked him.
Auto pick.
Why am I auto pick? I'm like, why am I not using words? It was an auto pick for the first pick. So Rashi that was a little early for him. And then we have Zach Charbonnet, Tank Bigsby, Kendre Miller, Michael Mayer, Sam Laporta, Josh Downs, Jonathan Mingo, Hendon Hooker, Marvin Mims, Jaden Reed, and Rashawn Johnson to finish off the second round. So with all that, I wanted to go to Eric. Did any player stand out as a reach where they were picked in this mock?
Can I go back to the first round and continue
Absolutely.
the theme of last week of pooping on Will Levis?
Go for it.
I don't hate the pick. I hate where he's taken at the 110 because here's the thing. Right now, Tennessee has Ryan Tannehill. There's rumors they're going to release Malik Willis, which makes Will Levis right now third string. But let's just say in a perfect world, Will Levis starts. He might have the worst receiving core of Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook, Akine, Kyle Phillips, Okonkwo at tight end. I mean, the Titans seem fully okay with going through a rebuild right now, especially as the Jags and Colts and Texans seem like they're all improving there. And what we've seen with Tennessee, I mean, they took Malik Willis in the third round and they had him start a couple games, and it seems like they might be pulling the plug on that experiment. And the fact that Levis dropped to the second, I think if it doesn't work out, that they have a quicker hook with that. So I don't think he's the long-term solution in Tennessee. I don't think it's viable that he starts this year. And even if he does, I don't think he has any fantasy relevance because of the team around him.
So even in a super flex league, you don't want him in the first round?
No.
Would you take Hendon Hooker over him?
I would take Hendon Hooker over him because injuries can happen.
I wouldn't mind Will Levis or a Hendon Hooker at 112, though, because you're not picking again for a while and you're not going to be able to get a quarterback. So, if you need one, you got to reach a little bit, but I'm not excited for either of them. So I get where you're going with the Will Levis stuff.
Yeah. And think about Hendon Hooker, Jared Goff could get hurt and then he steps in right away and he has a better surrounding team. I think that's a better head coach.
I think so many people are just expecting Jared Goff to be good again, as if we haven't had years of Jared Goff being mad.
True.
So, he could go right back to being average to below average, and Hendon Hooker could be ready by October, November, and they can make a flip.
I don't think Hendon Hooker plays this year.
I don't think so either, but they're a team with expectations. So, now, finally, they have expectations. So, if they're, 500 mid-season, they can't get it going. It's kind of like Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. You kind of do that same setup where here's this young guy. He can move a little bit better. Let's put him in. Let's rejuvenate the offense.
Oh, I don't think he's going to be healthy enough. I think his ACL is going to keep him out for the season, not Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But when you also look at Goff, he's under contract this year and under contract next year. So there's no long-term implications that they're tied to him. Now, I know they talked about having an extension, but that hasn't happened yet. So if Jared Goff does underperform this year, who's to say that he's going to be the QB of the future for the Lions? Not saying Hooker is, but I think there's a quicker way for him to start.
You had something, Brad?
Well, no, I was just going to say that, I could see a world in where, maybe the Lions go 1-4 or something. And then it's all right, let's see what we have in the Hooker kid. But at the same time, if he's not healthy, if he's not completely 100% ready to go, they're not going to rush it. So I was under the impression he was healthy.
No, he tore his ACL at the end of the season. So I think
they've been coming back real quick these days.
Yeah.
I was going to say they're built like tanks anymore. So I don't even know if I can go with that. But they have a pretty decent schedule. I'm looking at the schedule to start. We have the Chiefs. That could be an L. The Seahawks. That could be an L. The Falcons are there. Packers, Panthers. So we could see a 3-2, 2-3 type start, and I wouldn't be shocked.
And I doubt he would have done his pro day on 80% if that was the case, because his stats were good enough to put him wherever he went. So I think he's going to be all right for the season, to be honest.
Hendon Hooker tore his ACL November 19th. So that would put him, let's say he started end of September, beginning of October, 11 months, which is still crazy for an ACL tear, but we have seen people that have recovered that quickly.
I just watched Bryce Harper come back in 7 months with his elbow. I don't believe in injuries anymore. It's in the script. We've all seen the script.
Yeah.
I think my concern with Hooker from a dynasty standpoint is his age. He's going to be 26 this season.
But
So
I
that's
mean,
something
it's
to
still
consider.
Reason to put
quarterback.
him up there.
Yeah, it's still quarterback though, so it's not like you're not going to get 5-6 years at that age and still be fine. And half the time, you're not even in the same dynasty league 5 years from now.
Oh, I understand. I'm just saying that's why
Yeah.
he's in the second round and not
Oh,
going
yeah.
anywhere near the first. All right, so I'm going to go read through the third round real quick. So this is where it just gets fun, and we're just throwing out dart throws. The odds of you hitting on these players are very, very low. So go after your guy, have some fun. So we're starting off with Luke Musgrave, then Luke Schoonmaker, Jalen Hyatt, Tyjae Spears, Cedric Tillman, Chase Brown, Keishawn Booty, Darnell Washington, Israel Abanikanda, Zach Evans, Deuce Vaughn, and we finish it off with Tucker Kraft. So a lot of tight ends went in that third round. This is a tight end premium league. So, Joe, when is the earliest you would consider drafting a tight end, and do you have a rookie tight end one?
So, like I said earlier, I don't want to trade back past the ninth. I don't really like anything there. So that's when I would start thinking about it, especially in a tight end premium league. Now, it would probably be Dalton Kincaid as the one for me, but that's a little boring. So I like Sam Laporta a lot. And he's going to rival, I think, for that overall first tight end at the end of this season because without J-Mo playing for 6 games and with that offense, with Jared Goff, who likes the safety net and the safety value of a tight end, I think they were missing that once they got rid of TJ Hawkinson. And I think he's going to get a lot of play throughout the season. So if it wasn't Kincaid, and let's just say somebody got him right before me, I wouldn't be mad. I almost thought about pulling the trigger at 112 and going Sam Laporta, but I got to be honest, I completely forgot it was tight end premium until the second round, so that's why I didn't do it.
All right. Brad, did you have any thoughts of any kind of trends you noticed, or did anything stand out to you during this mock that you might be able to use in your real leagues?
Yeah, to stick with the tight end position, like I just think people are really overvaluing that spot. Like I know this is a T premium lead, but even in that, like the amount of tight ends that are actually worth a damn are pretty much like 4. And at T1 for a rookie, it's probably going to be Sam Laporta, and I'm not super stoked on that either. So I think the Kincaid stuff is really overblown. The Cowboys drafted 2 tight ends 2 years ago, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them ahead of the depth chart on Kincaid just because he was drafted in the first round. Doesn't mean he's going to be better. So I just really think the tight end spot is really overblown this year, and I think you should have the same kind of valuation on that position as you always would, which is basically Kelsey and Mark Andrews, and then after that, you're kind of you're making sure you're drafting in the right value.
Yeah, and I'm somebody who's going out there right now, and if I know like a team wants a tight end, and I'm in a position where they might want to like trade into it, I'll go get somebody like a Gerald Everett who now has Kellen Moore, who loved the tight end in that offense. Like, go give me the veteran. I don't got to spend up for it. We can get something going here, and I'll just take something I know is going to work and get me those 40, 50 catches for 4 or 5 touchdowns and just have it there. Because like you said, it's Kelsey, Andrews, Pitts, trash. Well, Goddard, trash, because I love Dallas Goddard, and I can't say that about him.
I mean, look at Pitts. Like, we were...
Whoa. I did not hear George Kittle's name in there.
I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. It's because you guys won't treat Trey Lance correctly, so you don't deserve
that's
George
fair.
Kittle in there.
That's fair, but don't take it out on the most exciting tight end in the game.
I have to. You know what it is? He burned me one season, and I can never draft him again.
But you know what? It's not his fault that they have him block 70% of plays.
He burned me one season with injuries, and I have never forgiven him. I'm not even going to lie.
That's fair.
I will say,
just holding on grudges.
From a football standpoint, this is probably a very deep tight end class. But from a fantasy standpoint, we have to remember, as you guys have all said, these guys might not do anything for like 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, and that's normal for a tight end. So I think it was Heath Cummings was saying it. He's like, let everyone else draft them and then drop them and then pick them up for free in 2 or 3 seasons.
I was just about to say, like, not only is the draft deep for tight end, but the waiver wire is deep. Like, I don't know if Isaiah Likely's going to get drafted by anybody, and I bet you most weeks he's going to end up with like 4 catches and 40 yards just because that's the way that offense does things. So people are putting way too much in the tight end this year.
Yeah, I'd rather just play matchups as best as I can with dynasty tight ends. Like, give me the Jawan Johnsons, the Gerald Everetts. Give me like that level of tight end. So I'm not spending up on them. And because it's tight end premium, those 5 catches are going to mean a little more each game. Like, so I don't like to spend my hard earned cash, quote unquote, on tight ends.
Joe, I literally knew you were gonna say that. I thought in my mind, I was like, he's gonna say his hard-earned money.
Well,
spending on one tight end.
that's because the first time we ever hung out, I put $20 into a machine, hit 200 something, and refused to play the rest of the day. So
That's true. We went to Atlantic City. Joe won first time on the machines, and it's like, I'm done.
yeah, I refused. I wasn't going to do any better than that. So I treat my casino money like I treat my tight ends. Like just let me get a little bit more than what I paid for, and I'm good.
I like that.
That's okay. We all know your hard-earned money is your celebrity appearance fees, but that's okay.
Oh man, no God, I'm shutting the camera off.
But I did, before we finish off to wrap up the episode, I did want to give a shout out to Underdog Fantasy. If you guys have not been playing Underdog, you're missing out. You have a chance of winning $3 million this year if you are the Best Ball Mania 4 champion. There's even money going for the regular season. It's a $15 million prize pool. There's plenty of other tournaments. It's not just football. They got every sport covered. So if you use the promo code TRIPLE, it's on the screen if you're watching, they will match your deposit up to $100 if you're a first-time user. So that's free money. So if you're playing the Best Ball Mania 4, it is a $25 entry fee. So you deposit $100. They'll then match you $100 after you use code TRIPLE. Now you have 8 entries into the BBM4 to try to win $3 million. So we're just trying to help you win some cash. So check out Underdog Fantasy. Use the code TRIPLE. All right. So, Doc, I just want to get your thoughts of how this rookie mock draft went for you and any kind of strategies you took from it.
No, I mean, I was at the 103 knowing Bijan would go 101 and you would take Anthony Richardson because you put your love for him on public display. So really, I knew I was going to go quarterback early. And I think, taking Bryce Young, just the guy that the team invested the most in to trade up for, even if he doesn't play right away. And then just taking people that I think have the clearest opportunity to playing time, but also diversifying the positions. I think that's important too, is you don't want to just put all of your eggs in one basket, that you want to spread out because you never know when injuries are going to hit or players are going to get traded. So it's important that you have depth.
Awesome. Well, you had one more thing, Joe? I know you.
No, I was just saying I like his point of making sure you have depth.
Perfect. So I wanted to thank everyone that was on our mock with us. We'll tag them in the show as well. It was a lot of fun to get to interact with everybody in the chat room there. Always a good time. But we will be back.
Oh, Celtics!
I will hang up right now. Like, I will shut this off. No, we're not doing that. I already know we're going to lose this game. Okay, this is what we did. We had a chance. We blew it. We do it every time in the second series, and then you guys are going to win in the last minute and break my heart. I'm wearing the shirt for no reason. I'm telling them not to upset me on the screen right here. I am done with the Sixers if they just come out and get annihilated. But it's happening.
Guys, like, I'm a Celtics fan. I'm an unfortunate Wizards fan.
Listen, you guys is everybody that's not with Philly. It's Philly versus everybody at that point.
Now, I will say this is a great plug, though, to subscribe to the TripPlayFantasy channel, because if you do like basketball talk that these guys are talking about, we got you covered with basketball. We got you covered with baseball. Obviously, we have football. We even talk food, movies. We got it all. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss any shows. Like the video. It's a great way to support the team. But yeah, so hopefully Joe's not crying next time we're on screen. But we got you covered for this offseason for fantasy football. Thank you all. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you guys for the next show.
Peace.